Hello and welcome to the tutorial for this abstract 3D timeline template. So first of all, let's just go through the template for a little bit. And well, before you actually start the After Effects project, I would recommend you to install the fonts first. The fonts are downloadable through the README file. The link is given there. So before you start up the project, please install that. They're free, so no worries. Okay, let's just show you what this template is all about. So this folder won't be there when you have started up your After Effects project, because this is just for the preview purposes. That's why I have all these pictures in here. But as you open your project, you can find all your compositions here. This is your main comp. This is where some of the effects are applied. This is your source comp. You don't necessarily need to open this because we're not going to do anything with this. This is just where some effects are applied. Just close that down. This is your content comp. This is your main work area where you're gonna change all of your stuff. And this is a neat render comp where you can finally export your final result. So in your main comp, you'll have your main controller, and here you can change around some stuff like colors and textures and enabling of certain effects. So let's dive in a little bit more. Here you have your scene composition, which which are all situated in the content area, and you can edit them manually. We'll get by that later. Here you have all your placeholders, your comps, your footage. This is where you actually change all your photos and your logo. I will explain that in a minute. And all your comps. So that's all well organized. Let's just go to our main comp and go to our main controller. Let's click our main controller and go to Effect Controls, or Window and Effect Controls. Somewhat around here. There it is. And here you can enable a few things. For example, you can enable the aspect ratio 2.4, which gives it a more cinematic look. Obviously, you will need to adjust the scenes a little bit more, maybe, so they will fit into the boundaries of the or the edges of the aspect ratio. Here you can disable some noise and grain that's applied to the background. Here you can disable some roughen edges, which is applied over the entire template. Here you can disable the texture overlay, which are some like white textures that are visible throughout the entire template. And the depth of field is not working, I think. So in order to shut that off or turn that off, is go to your content where the camera is situated and just go in there, and in here you can turn on the depth of field, and you can see things become blurry and out of focus when you turn it on, which gives it a nice filmy look. But for editing purposes, we can turn it off because it will go faster. Let's go back to our main comp, and since I couldn't link this, I'm just deleting this, so you won't be seeing this in the final file. But now you know how to turn it off. Oh, and before I forget, this project is set to 16 bits per color, and or 16 bits per channel, sorry. That's just because there is a chromatic aberration applied, which is a kind of like lens effect that makes it a more like natural and organic filmed look. It gives it that look, but it also eats up a lot of CPU and RAM power. So just change that for now. Click on the 16 bits per channel here. Change it to 8, and it will definitely speed up your entire workflow. You can leave it off if you want, because the difference isn't that noticeable. But in the end, just turn it on again. It will take a little bit more time to render your project, but it will speed up your project during your edits. As for the gradient colors, they resemble the background color, so if I change this, you can see the background is changing as well as the other one. So now I have two gradient colors and I can change them, but I will leave them as is. Color 1 resembles some of the white shapes in this template. You can see now I've turned them red. Same goes for the yellow color. Let's make it a little bit more bluish. And there you go, now I've changed them to blue. Just undo that. And for now I'm still gonna turn off the camera depth of field because it's eating my RAM. And I'm gonna play around with this for a little bit. So make it a little bit faster. Here you can see this triangle, which is also pink, is now more or less brownish pink. And that's how you can change around all the colors. It's all linked up. For example, the blue animal thing is now becoming light blue. And it's through the entire scene. Let me show you what I mean. For example, here we have our square and our timeline are yellow. What happens if we change that to white? They both become white. So you don't have to go through each scene to change the color. You can do it simultaneously from this point. So that's very handy. If you want to go and change around the colors of the text, you'll have to do that individually. So let's just show you how to do that now. Let's go into our content. Let's lock our camera. Let's go to scene 1. Let's dive right in. And here you can see we have some stuff happening and our text is appearing. And we could still change the colors of the yellow ones right here, but we can also go back to the main controller in the main comp and do it from here. So if you want to change the color individually for some of the elements, for example that circle, you can see it's not displayed in our timeline. To display it, or to display any extras in this template, you can always hit the shy button and unshy certain elements. For example, we have this circle here, which has a color that is linked. Let's just hit U. You can see, don't mind all of these expressions though, but you can see it's colored up to our main controller through an expression. If you don't want that, you can always disable the expression, or you can go to Effect, Generate, and fill it with another color, just to overrun the expression, if you want to have more individual control. So, let's hide that again. So to change the color of the text, you can simply select the text, and as you would always, go to your character window, character. Let's enable it again. And just like in a similar editing program like Photoshop, you can change the color of your text, or the font size, or the font style, type, cursive, italic, all caps. It's all possible here. So you can do that for any of the texts, even these animated ones, which are just random gibberish generated randomly. Yeah, that's basically it for the text. Like, you can double click it and change its content to I don't know, life changing, anything you would like to change, you can put it in here. And maybe we think it's a little bit too big right now, so let's just chop, let's size that down. Center it, holding shift while you do so, keeps it in place. Um, maybe we can move around this one, zoom in a bit. There it is, and let's change this. This template is this template is life-changing, and now you can see our yellow part is way too big. In order to fix this, I will go inside the rectangle and go to the transform rectangle here, or to the rectangle path, and just play around with the size and reposition it while you have the rectangle 1 selected, and a little bit to the left and a little bit to the top, and there you go. Now you have resized it to the actual size of the text, and you can still drag it around freely and it will animate either way. And this is the same case for all of your elements. You can change the position or the text. For example, just double click this and make this into I don't know, random text. And just position it that way. Pretty neat, pretty simple. Doesn't look great right now, but you get the idea. So that's how you actually edit the texts and edit your colors, and that's how it's basically done in this template. I will show you a couple more examples as we go along, but for now I will end this tutorial, and in the next tutorial I will briefly explain about how you can edit and insert your actual placeholders.